Within the last day, over $24 million of new cryptocurrencies were mined, and most of that is Bitcoin. But there are many other profitable coins to mine. Yo, my name is Drew Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. I go by Vosk, by the way. I'm building out a full-time crypto mining farm, so I'm like face deep in this kind of stuff every single day. I want to share with you the top 10 coins that are mineable, what they're mined with, and I just really want to illustrate this is such a viable industry because the cryptocurrency market ain't that great, and we're still mining tens of millions of dollars per day. Personally, I think mining is one of the coolest things ever. Some people like to write it off as being useless and pointless.
Bitcoin is worthless artificial gold.
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero. Zero.
But I completely disagree. You spend money mining gold, right? Well, we spend money mining digital gold, like Bitcoin and other crypto coins. The value in this production creates a base value for these digital coins. These are truly not just made out of thin air. And that's what makes mined coins much more valid and much more valuable than some shit coins that are just minted on a smart contract for 20 bucks in Ethereum gas fees. This website has a lot of good data, makes it easy to digest. I already sorted the emission by the last 24 hours. Recently I talked about how Bitcoin miners are and I mean it. Why though? Well, let me show you why. Bitcoin halving countdown. It's the thing we need to talk about that nobody wants to talk about. In less than a year, Bitcoin's gonna have the amount of coins mined per day basically gonna be cut in half. All right, so let's go over to this website. We look at insights. We'll look at mining profitability for some major Bitcoin miners, but they won't let me in the door. Come on, brains. I'd like to illustrate that this daily amount of Bitcoin mined is not abnormal by any means. This is pretty standard. For several months, we were mining around $30 million of coins per day. And this is just the data over the last year. Let's go back 2 years. Wow, $50 million in new Bitcoins mined every day. Okay, so let's look at a 6 cent per kilowatt hour electricity rate. We look at this right. Most miners are breaking even around 7 cents. Crazy. Let's take a good residential electric rate of 10 cents. And what you will quickly see here is that literally only the latest released Bitcoin miner is profitable. That's a scary thing because Bitcoin mining is industrialized. A lot of people believe in Bitcoin mining, but the fact of the matter is that there is a lot of money there. And even when the amount of Bitcoins mined per day is cut in half, which is going to happen at the halving in about 200 days, there would still be over $10 million of new coins mined per day if nothing else changed. We look at some next generation Bitcoin miners coming in with target dates of this year, which is pretty crazy. Okay, 1466, 150 terahash second at $3,000. That's a very good efficiency, bringing it down to just about 20 joules or 20 watts a terahash, which to put that into perspective, that's very efficient Bitcoin mining. We look at the Bitmain Antminer S21, very efficient Bitcoin mining at a very big price, $5,349, but projecting well under 20 joules or watts a terahash. To put a Bitcoin miner price and performance of the current generation into perspective, the S19K Pro is very popular right now. It's coming in at about $2,000. It mines at about 120 terahash a second and only consumes 2,760 watts. As far as Bitcoin miners of this generation go, that is a high hash rate and low power consumption and a pretty fair price point, which is all you can ask for. If you're looking to grab a Bitcoin miner right now, this is one of the most viable options and a very good pilot Bitcoin miner, if you will. we just started working with ASIC Marketplace. So if you do want to get involved with mining, don't forget to use our link, and more importantly, punch the code VoskCoin in to save some coin if you grab some of these. So let's look at some of the other top coins. Dogecoin. The irony is that this was a joke cryptocurrency, and Doge has been consistently putting out about $1 million in new little Doges every day. That's wild. And Doge is mined on the script mining algorithm. We all think there's going to be a new Dogecoin miner too, very soon. It's merge mined with Litecoin at the exact same time, which I'll explain more about that here in a second. So they have the L7 here. It's pretty expensive miner in these market conditions for $4,700. They've got one of the better prices on the market as well. Dogecoin, Litecoin, merge mined, right? You combine them, we're still mining over $1 million a day for those mining rigs. It's a lot of money. $1 million per day, 365 million per year. Like, that is a big industry. People are quick to shrug off some cryptocurrencies or even crypto in general. They get really fixated on Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. And yeah, Bitcoin percentage wise is obviously huge, as it should be. But let's not just write off a $365 million annual emission. That's a viable industry in its own right. Keep in mind that many of these coins we're talking about today are ASIC mined, application-specific integrated circuit miners, purpose-built machines that only do one thing, okay? These are quite literally industrialized, purpose-built computers, weaponized for mining. They do one thing, they mine that coin's mining algorithm, right? So Bitcoin's SHA-256. So Bitcoin miners pretty much only mine Bitcoin, but they also mine the 7th biggest cryptocurrency to mine when ranked by emission per our data here, which is Bitcoin Cash, which is also on SHA-256, right? Dogecoin, we talked about that. It's mined on Script, which it's also mining Litecoin with the same device at the same time. Okay, enter number 3, everybody's favorite ghost, Kaspa. Okay, Kaspa putting out consistently well over $500,000 per day, closer to $750,000. Recently hit an all-time high. The network hash rate is absolutely ballooning. Okay, we look at on the last year. Okay, we were at like 1 petahash back in April. All right, and we look at this month, over 20 petahash. To put that into perspective, it has become more than 24 times more difficult to mine a Kaspa coin. Okay, but that doesn't mean that it hasn't been an incredibly lucrative endeavor. The KS3M is the most popular in-stock Kaspa miner right now for a whopping price of basically 16 grand. But they're here, they're ready to ship, and they're hitting their destinations. How much money does that thing earn? It's crazy, like $200 freaking a day. But this environment is rapidly changing. This is only recently become ASIC mined. Previously, it was GPU mined. And all the GPU miners on there had a good time. If they held the coins, at least. Good for them. Kaspa is being marketed as basically a better Bitcoin. Interesting angle. Never heard that one before. But a lot of people are excited about it. And it's making a lot of headway in pricing. Or market cap. Valuation, I should say.
Hey guys, it's Miss Vosk here to tell you about today's video sponsor, Stader. Stader is a new multi-chain node and staking platform available on several chains, including BNB, Polygon, and Ethereum. Instead of needing 32 Ethereum to run a validator node, they enable ETH staking with just 4 ETH and 0.4 ETH worth of their token, SD, which is approximately $43,000 less to start staking your own Ethereum at the time of recording this video. Stader boasts that by using 8x leverage, users will also see 35 to 40% higher rewards with their ETH staking compared to solo staking. Stader has over 550 validators already, and for those new to nodes, they also offer a bunch of resources for running nodes on their website and have 24/7 support on their Discord. To learn more about Stader, check out the link in the video description below. This is not financial advice. Please do your own research before investing.
Enter number 4, Chia XCH, putting out $250,000 per day. The coin is bouncing around an all-time low tracked mining price. And if you follow the channel at all, you know that I'm pretty excited, pretty bullish, and to be frank, just investing a lot in a hard drive mining setup, to the point I even have built my own dedicated hard drive mining shed, because cooling these is way better with like an AC unit as opposed to using straight air cooling where the machines would get dirty, or like immersion mining, which we've been working on. But yeah, basically my rigs are mining over 6 coins a month on this pool, and I have another deployment where they're mining several coins a month, and that equates to several $100s, but my setup costs thousands and thousands of dollars. So as it stands, it's, you know, it's not the highest, you know, return on investment, if you will, but we did collaborate with Evergreen Miner to bring our own Tails edition to market for numerous reasons. This is their most powerful kit yet. It's plug and play. It's easy. This thing uses like 100 watts. Even in the 10 hard drive format, it uses about 100 watts. That equates to like $5 in your electricity bill. And soon you'll be able to receive straight Bitcoin payouts and completely circumvent Chia if that's something that you want to do. For me, I'm hodling all my coins. I'm pretty excited for this one because no matter what happens to electricity rates and costs, the electricity footprint on these is so small. This will just basically be forever viable for at-home miners, and that is what makes Post, which is their mining algorithm, just one of the coolest mining algorithms out right now, because that increases decentralization and long-term viability. And I'm just a big fan of it, because at the end of the day, when you're running these devices that consume 3,000 watts, like, that's not easy. That's costing several dollars a day. This costs several dollars a month to run. Anybody can come up with that. I'll drop a link out to that in the video description below, as well as it's the same coupon code of VoskCoin to save some coin. Next up, ironically, the real Ethereum. Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic is Ethereum unchanged. Ethereum forked their code, basically, spearheaded by Vitalik Buterin, and they went on to do their thing, and they've moved away from mining. Long story short, Ethereum Classic is that unchanged chain. Unchained chain. And about $200,000 of new ETC are mined per day. It's been a pretty bad time mining ETC because a lot of Ethereum miners failed over to Ethereum Classic when Ethereum was no longer mineable, basically making it an incredibly difficult coin to mine. There's been more and more Ethereum Classic ASIC miners coming to market. One of those is the E9 Pro at 3.68 gigahash a second. Right, and this is a miner you can get into for about $2,000. In addition to the E9 Pro, there's also the Jazz miners. I've got a couple Jazz miners, specifically their quiet versions, and I'm going to grab their big Jazz miner, which is an absolute behemoth, a terrible form factor. It's like the X16P, which ASIC Marketplace is selling that too, but it's coming in at a very high price point of like 10 grand. It does reign king with efficiency. But, you know, for me, these miners make a few bucks a day right now, or several dollars a day. It's a lot to spend for what you're getting. And an Ethereum Classic for me is not a coin that I'm just the most bullish on. I'm hopeful, right? You know, go ahead, do your thing. I root for generally all mineable coins that are half decent, because why not? I think mining is an incredible consensus mechanism, as well as just the true way to distribute your coin supply. We basically already touched on number 7. It's a Bitcoin fork, Bitcoin Cash. It's something else to do with your Bitcoin miners. Some people really root for it and believe in it. We'll save that discussion for another day, but it does big volume, does a lot of daily emission, and it has a multi-billion-dollar market cap. And for whatever it's worth, it does seem that Bitcoin Cash is here to stay. DynexCoin is one of the most interesting coins on this list because it is one of 3 coins you are mining with hardware other than an ASIC miner, right? So far, we've had Chia, which is mined or farmed with hard drives. Enter DynexCoin and their Dynex Solve, which has been having a pretty good time with their recent price action, up 18% in the last 17 days. Their market cap is small, but rising at $48 million, 24-hour volume of about $1 million. And a daily emission now with the recent price increase, very high for what it is, of $73,000. It's a $50 million coin with a bigger emission in the last 24 hours than a $2.6 billion coin, Monero XMR, which is going to be the next thing we talk about. But before we jump to the next chapter, let's put GPU mining into perspective. Well, the good news is if you have an RX 6800, 6800 XT, 6900 XT, or a 6950 XT, or a good old Radeon 7 VIIs, I like to call it for fun. Well, you could be mining about 30 cents a day with those graphics cards. Yeah, the fact of the matter is GPU mining is basically dead unless your coin that you're mining absolutely rockets. It's tough times for GPU miners. But hopefully that changes one day. But it's not something I'm betting big on. Something I'm more excited about, though, is going to be Monero mining Random X. $60,000 of coins put out per day. Mission, right? A CPU mined coin, but the game is changing with the Bitmain Antminer X5. It's basically like two epic CPUs, 212 kilohash of random X mining algorithm power. This thing will mine several dollars per day in profits after your electricity bill if you're around 10 cents per kilowatt hour. As always, figure out your exact numbers. Your mileage may vary. The point here being, though, is that this is like in line with about much CPU efficiency, which means that to a degree the algorithm is doing its job, but more so I absolutely think that they are not going to fork the algorithm like they did several years ago when Bitmain released an ASIC Antminer that was so much better for CPU mining than Monero. So they forked it, whatever. The point here being is that I think that these will not get kicked off their algorithm, which is a whole drama thing, because basically, long story short, if you don't know, Monero did not want ASICs on their network, so they changed mining algorithms and built a new dedicated algorithm for CPU mining. But everything has changed so much in the last 5 years since that happened. So long story short is I don't think they're going to kick these off for numerous reasons. And coming at this price point, dollar for dollar on a very long-standing coin, this is a very interesting play. Like, understand when we look at this top 10 list, right? The oldest coins in this list, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, right? Litecoin, Monero. These are the oldest coins. Older than Ethereum Classic, older than Bitcoin Cash, older than Kaspa, older than Chia, older than DynexCoin, older than Zcash. This is a very long-standing cryptocurrency. And if you believe in the Lindy effect, well, then you believe in Monero, a pure anonymous cryptocurrency, to some degree. I'm pretty excited about that. I want to see where it goes, and it makes getting into this very easy. I've actually been contemplating working on my own little mini CPU mining farm, but now it's kind of like, why waste the time? Why bother? I could just grab this machine, plug and play, and I'm in the CPU mining game with an ASIC miner because there's basically ASIC chips on it. And it can mine more than Random X, we're being told, but these have not really hit the hands of many miners and mining farms just quite yet. Enter number 10, everyone's least favorite coin, the opposite of the people's champion, Zcash, ZEC, a seller's coin, because that's what the Zcash investors and that's what the Zcash team have done against all of their communities, just sell on top of them. So everybody else started selling the coin. There's a whole backstory to all this, but I'm just not even going to waste your time today. So $207 million market cap, $50,000 of new coins mined per day. A lot of trading volume here to work with, over $10 million. The best miner for this is sadly yet another Bitmain miner. It's the Antminer Z15 Pro, which is basically just two of their Z15s, but now in a Pro version, which is just going to be two of them together. $3,000, earns more than it burns on most electricity rates. It's a pretty viable miner. Zcash should stick with mining, but they're talking about moving away from it. So this is actually one of the riskier miners in this list. Just kind of understand that and be aware. But really, that's the situation. That's the status with the top 10 mineable coins. Obviously, again, dominated by Bitcoin, but let's not write off several of these coins that command yearly emissions in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And many investors, which many major Bitcoin mining farms, publicly traded, major investors, whatever, all they want to deal with is Bitcoin, which is why there's so much less competition in Bitcoin mining than mining other cryptocurrencies. The highest quantity of miners I have, and I'm operating on the VoskCoin mining farm, are Bitcoin miners. I earn more money mining altcoins than I do with Bitcoin mining, even though I have more Bitcoin miners than the sum of all of my altcoin ASIC miners, hard drive miners, and other mining gear. So just kind of marinate with that one. It's a weird situation. I'm bullish long term. I'm sad short term. And this is the facts of the facts. Data is data, and this is everything laid out there. So, as always, I appreciate your time tuning in. You are on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed the content and found some value and enjoyed this data crunching. If you did, please subscribe. If you didn't, well, please subscribe. And for no other reason than for 10 seconds of tail, she's going on her 8th birthday. She's incredible, and I messed up her birthday a couple of times here and recorded content, which Alexa always makes fun of me for. But the fact of the matter is, age is just a number, and I wish it would stop going up with her. I absolutely love that Doug. Ironically, she's my Doge. She's my little Dogecoin that I had before I got into cryptocurrency, because your boy ain't no clout chaser. But on that note, I hope you chase the thumbs up. I'll see you later.